Let's go. Welcome back to Two Marks and a Spark, our night one post WrestleMania night one. We're going to be here for the next 3 nights, actually, because me and Russ, I think, are going to be here after Raw on Monday, too. So buckle in. You're about to see a lot of us for the next 3 days because,
Yep.
well, it's
And,
WrestleMania
and,
weekend, folks.
and believe me, we're not going to be doing 3 shows a week every week. No way. It's just that
But this week,
WrestleMania season is a little special.
WrestleMania season, you get way more of us than you probably want. But
That's
here we
right.
are.
It's like the World Series and the Super Bowl of wrestling rolled into one.
But here we are. It was night one tonight. It will be night two tomorrow. I don't want to judge this show entirely tonight. I don't want to say tomorrow's going to be a dud because tonight could have been, but uh, you don't really, it's hard to judge these 2 night shows after night one. It really is, which you could say makes it a little silly that we're doing this show now and not waiting until tomorrow, but here we are. Um, we're on
Well,
the content
I'd
bandwagon.
rather do like a couple of shows than one super long one.
Well, me too. So we did have our opening match, which I thought this was going to be the opening match. I think I said it Monday night after Raw that I thought this was probably going to open the show, which was Gunther and Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title. This just wasn't very good.
I expected Jey Uso to win, which he did,
Yeah,
and is champion because the way they were building him. It wasn't very long. Seemed like kind of a short match,
it was
and
16 and a half minutes.
all right, it even felt shorter than that. But it just seemed to me like toward the end of it, there, Gunther just kind of out of nowhere just tapped out, and it didn't. It just didn't convince me, you know.
No.
And that's
Jey
no knock on
Uso,
either guy because they're great wrestlers. But this was probably one of the matches I was just less emotionally invested in. Probably because Gunther's one of my favorite guys, and I knew for sure he was going to have to lose this match. And I think, is there really a credible, believable way to make this look like Jay is making Gunther tap out? Well, probably not. I'm sure a hardcore Jay Uso fan would disagree with me. But to me, a guy like Gunther, you've got to be very, very careful how you have him beat, and he has to be preserved as much of a monster as possible. That's just
I
my
agree with you.
thoughts.
Well, Jey Uso wins off 3 splashes and a choke out, and he chokes him out
Oh,
after that.
yeah, man. He was really, really rallying it there toward the end.
And the finish was fine, if stupid for making Gunther tap, but I presume we will see this match again, even though I really don't want to. Um, the next match, speaking of matches I never want to fucking see again, the War Raiders and the New Day for the Raw tag titles or the World tag titles, whatever you want to call them. This sucked.
This was
All of
not
it.
that bad. I didn't think it was that bad. I'm not, I like the New Day a lot better than the War Raiders, and I like their new gear. But I don't know if it was the most believable match ever, but I thought it was okay, you know.
Well, the New Day hit their finish, and that's how they won. This was only 9 minutes. It should have been like five.
It was really short.
Anyway, the next match was also only about 9 minutes. This one about 9.5. It was Naomi and Jade Cargill. This was very good.
Yes, it was. Jade Cargill looked better than she ever has, in my opinion.
I agree.
I think
This
she's
was
really
the
come a
best.
long way.
This was the
And
best possible
and you know
match it
how
could have
I think
been.
she looks damn good.
Jade won with the Jaded, which is basically just the Glam Slam, but with a different name.
Yep.
And these two had a very good match. Naomi's new gear and music is cool.
Yes.
They probably should have had Naomi win this match if only to keep this feud going, but clearly that's not what they want to do. Jade wins, and we moved on. They would stall for a little bit because I think one of the last two matches went under on time. and
Okay.
that would be a trend throughout the night. Um, we had LA Knight defending against Jacob Fatu. This went 10 minutes and about 45 seconds, somewhere in there, 10:40 roughly was about what this went.
Yep.
And this was up to this point the best match on the show.
Jacob
These two,
Fatu looked fantastic. Well, they both look
these
good, but man, Jacob Fatu, what a brute, what a star. Very
Fatu
impressive.
gets Fatu gets the win. He is the new United States champion. He desperately needed this. Um, it was the next logical thing they could do with him, and he gets the win, pinning LA Knight. And
Yeah,
they are already teasing Jacob versus Solo at some point. Wouldn't be surprised if that's at Backlash.
that could be great too.
Then we got Ray Phoenix versus Chad Gable. I refuse to call him by that stupid joke name they're calling him because it's stupid.
No, no,
This
no.
match
There
had
can't be anything stupid in pro wrestling.
Russ.
I wish they'd make up
Russ.
their mind though. Is he from the Gulf of Mexico or is he from the Gulf of America? They keep switching back and forth.
I'm not going to get into that.
I
Anyway,
know, and that's a can of worms. But this was the one where Ray Phoenix replaced Rey Mysterio because he got hurt last night on SmackDown.
which they confirmed on the pre-show. I guess we can talk about it here. The announcement that was made on the pre-show right before that was the announcement that WWE has acquired AAA. What?
Yes, and I don't know a whole lot about AAA, but
Well, they're the bigger of the two promotions in Mexico.
yes,
The two big ones. They're the bigger of the two.
the other one is CMLL.
Right, who is much smaller.
Which
We
one
had
was
Vikingo,
which of the two? Remind me, which of the two was Conan affiliated with?
AAA.
Okay, good. All right,
So I would assume he's going to get fired like almost immediately, though, if he hasn't been already.
probably.
Um, Same with Alberto Del Rio, who also worked there.
Well, he's got kind of a record of he's got a troubled record in WWE and elsewhere, you know,
He's got a troubled record anywhere you look. Anyway,
including
so
a police record.
including a police record.
Yep,
Anyway, this announcement came out of nowhere. There was no leaks, no reporting to indicate this.
correct.
But this announcement, they also announced a Worlds Collide show for June. I believe it's June 6th or June 7th, something like that. And it's going to be a Saturday at like 1 or 2:30 in the afternoon. And it is going to be AAA, NXT, and I believe some of the WWE main roster as well.
That could be a very fun show, you know.
I don't know how much of the main roster is going to be on that show, but I would presume Rey Mysterio if he's healthy. I would presume Rey Phoenix. I would presume Penta. And who knows?
Maybe Dominic.
Maybe Dominic. But like they've got a lot of guys in NXT that would fit on that show.
That's it. And it certainly seems to indicate that in the general WWE programming, we should be seeing more Lucha Libre.
Well, we're already getting a tease of Vikingo versus Chad Gable. Like that's already gotten teased tonight because before the
Right.
match, Gable's coming out and he gets kicked in the fucking
Well,
head.
that's right. Vacano's at AAA, isn't he?
Yep.
Wasn't he formerly AEW, or was he just
Well, he was. What happened was he was splitting time. AAA loaned him to AEW when they
okay?
were still working together. AAA stopped working with AEW when they did the deal with CMLL. So that's what happened there.
All right.
AEW is still going to work with CMLL. They're not going to buy CMLL, I don't think. But they are doing a crossover show. It's like a 4-hour show on a Wednesday in June. So
All
I don't
right.
know.
We'll probably watch it and do a show about it.
Probably. Also,
If I
4
live
hours on a
until June, I'll be there.
if you live until June. Yeah,
Well,
I
you
don't
never
remember
know.
what the name.
You never know.
Well, Ray Phoenix versus Chad Gable was a very good match. Would have been
Yeah.
better if they didn't do this stupid Americano gimmick. This match only went 8 minutes. Americano won. I think the original plan was for Rey Mysterio to win. Um, but Ray Phoenix will have more matches at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we had the all-time stinker that I knew was going to be bad. And guess what, folks? I told you this match was going to be bad for 6 weeks, and then it happened, and then it was bad. It was Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. I have nothing good to say about this match. I mean, nothing.
I know they tried to pump up our interest in this match by the controversy from the promos. But for me personally, it wasn't enough to do the trick. And another thing too, this might seem a like a minute point. However, do you notice, and this is something I don't really care for visually, do you notice that both wrestlers were wearing the same color gear?
Yeah.
I don't like that. That's like going to watch a baseball game and both teams are wearing the same uniform. It doesn't make sense to me. Besides, pink looks a whole lot better on Bret Hart than it does on either one of them, in my opinion.
Well, anyway, Tiffany Stratton entered in a Barbie box. I'm not kidding.
Yes.
That was a little ridiculous. Charlotte Flair came out dressed,
Rolls Royce.
came out in a Rolls Royce dressed like herself or her father. I couldn't tell. Or maybe it was a hybrid. Anyway, and these two proceeded to have an all time stinker. I mean, just not a very good match, and they went 20 minutes. And
This one really did go on too long.
oh my gosh, I was watching this show with some people, and
I
everybody,
expected Charlotte Flair to win too. I really
thank
did.
God that didn't happen.
I thought for sure that it would.
This crowd did not want to watch a Charlotte Flair match. I mean, they did not want this at all.
No,
It was a
this was
big pop for
probably
Tiffany.
this wasn't as bad a crowd reaction as the infamous Goldberg Lesnar WrestleMania match, but it reminds me of it because you have two opponents that are just not really that over with everybody, and I think Tiffany Stratton uh, is more over, obviously, with the crowd, but I think there would have been a better response with a different opponent. People seem to, a lot of the wrestling fans, and I understand, they were disappointed as soon as Charlotte Flair won the Royal Rumble and they began to
Yeah.
set up this match. They felt like this is just not the way to go and had the feeling that they're shoving it down our throats, whether we like it or not.
Well, this match went on forever. And before this match, they do the bit with Shawn Michaels coming out and announcing the attendance. And he looked like he didn't want to be there.
Or HBK.
Well, Tiffany wins. Thank
Yes.
God.
Yeah. I didn't expect that, but I think is a better choice at this point.
They made the right choice. But this just wasn't good. And then we get the Hall of Fame bit
Correct.
where,
By the way, did you watch the Hall of Fame ceremony yet?
no,
Well, I'll warn you. You remember how Triple H's promos back in the day used to just go on and 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 on.
I do
It
remember
was
that.
got to be. I tell you what, he made Mr. T's Hall of Fame speech sound like a 2 minute TED talk. I'm telling you, it was people liked it. He said a lot of nice things, but I didn't think he was ever going to get done. Ever.
Well, this also started at like 1 in the morning.
Yes.
So
And they got still pictures of people like Eric Bischoff and Booker T and Bailey sitting in the audience nodding off. And I don't
but
blame them.
this that I heard the Hall of Fame. What time did the Hall of Fame end last night? Because it started at like midnight.
Yeah, it must have
So
been
fuck.
2 or 3 o'clock.
No
Hey,
kidding.
Lex Luger's that section was great. Really enjoyed that very much. And
I heard DDP gave a very nice speech.
yep. Well,
Anyway,
then we're going to get to the main event. What do you think about this main event?
well, they took forever to get there because they did a really long video package that was really good.
Yes,
And
yes.
then Seth came out, and the ramp
Well,
was so long. And I was saying it all night. The ramp is too long. The ramp is too long. These guys are getting blown up before they get down there.
that's why you want to
And
walk
there's,
that run.
which I'm going to feel real bad for John Cena tomorrow if he tries to run down that ramp because good luck, brother.
Oh yeah, I don't think at his age he shouldn't be running at all. No, I'm joking.
Seth comes out. His entrance is really long. He changed gear in the middle of his entrance, which was funny
Yes.
because the lights went out and he was wearing all black and then he was wearing all white. That was funny.
Well, I love the way Seth dresses. You know, he was starting to get a little bit more normal there for a while, but now once again, it looks like he's dressing himself out of Becky's closet, and that's a very good thing.
He's crazy. And then
Yep.
Roman comes out, which you pretty much knew was going to happen because everybody knew beforehand that Punk was getting the live music entrance. So you knew there was no way he was going out there second.
Yeah, Living Color. They still got their chops. Great band, in my opinion. I still got the vinyl.
And then finally, we got a CM Punk video package, which was This Fire Burns was the theme song for his video package, which I thought was awesome.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
needs to
And
bring that music back.
it was great. And it kind of just took you a little bit through his history and all of his straight edge stuff, you know. I don't know, man, when I hear all that straight edge stuff, it makes me want to have a beer.
Which you're having one right now.
I'm having a Coors Banquet beer.
God, you're drinking piss water on my show? Shit.
Oh no, that's good. That's good cheap beer. If you like cheap
No,
beer, it's one of the better ones.
no, it's not. Anyway, we then had Roman's entrance, which was also before that we had Roman's entrance, which was also very long. Then we had the Punk video package, and then we had this Punk video package. I think they had to extend it an extra minute or so because they were getting Living Color set up. I don't know. Punk finally comes out, and he has to hug all the Living Color guys because, of course, he does.
Right.
And then he takes a selfie with the lead singer whose name I don't know.
I
Sorry to
can't
that guy.
remember.
Sorry to that guy. Anyway,
Yeah.
him,
Corey
him
somebody,
and
I
Bo
think.
walk out to the ring, and Punk is wearing the gray sweatshirt, which looks like the gray sweatshirt he wore when he walked out with Paul Heyman the last time at WrestleMania when he fought The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And these three proceeded to have an all time fucking classic. This match was
Yeah, this
incredible.
was great. This was great. Corey Glover. That's the name of the singer. Corey Glover. Yeah, great match. Great match. This was the best part of the show. This is the one I was looking forward to the most, and once they finally got going, it did not disappoint.
And Punk and Seth fought in the crowd. We had garbage can shots to the head. We had those announce tables that I thought at the beginning of the show, there's no way they can fucking break those things. They found a way to break them. Uh,
Sure did.
those things did not look breakable at the start of the show, though. I think you would agree with me.
Yep.
They broke both of them. Everybody had to be sore after that.
Oh,
The
I tell you
finish
what, by the
comes.
end of this match, they all looked dog tired and really hurting. They they really laid it out on the line. I'll
This
give them
match goes
credit for that.
33
They
minutes.
worked hard.
This was 33 minutes bell to bell, and it looked like it, and it felt like it, but in a good way.
Oh yeah,
And the finish came when Paul Heyman got a chair,
right.
and he
This
was
is
trying to decide who to give it to, CM Punk or Roman Reigns. He gives it to Punk, but I'm thinking there's no way it's that simple. And then Paul gets in the ring
yep,
and he low blows Punk
yep.
and he says, "My tribal chief, finish it." Roman goes to hit Seth. Another low blow from Heyman right to
Yeah.
the
Oh man, this was
fucking
great.
cojones, right to the fucking cojones of Roman Reigns. And wow,
Yep. Little swerve for the crowd there. Although I anticipated this.
me too.
Yep. And I'm so glad they did it.
Seth goes full heel.
Yep.
That's the end result here. Seth is full on megalomaniac heel.
That's right. And now he's a Paul Heyman guy.
And I would imagine this has been in the works for some time.
Yes. I can't wait to hear what they all got to say Monday night. It'll be interesting.
Raw is going to be very interesting on Monday. Let me put
I
it
think
that way.
so.
Cannot wait for that show. Russ, we got WrestleMania night 2 tomorrow. We did get some news on this show. Bailey is out of the tag team match, at least for now.
Is that because of
Um,
injury?
I believe so, but they also they might just be swerving us. I don't know.
Have they announced her replacement?
To be determined.
Okay.
So we got a couple of holes on that show tomorrow. Let's go through the card. We got Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky. We got Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez against Lyra Valkyria, and to be determined. I would presume that maybe a Becky Lynch spot if there is one.
Well, yeah, that's possible.
We got
She's
Logan Paul
Logan Paul
and
versus is it AJ
AJ
Styles,
Styles.
right?
Yep.
All right.
We then had, or have, excuse me, we haven't had it yet. We then have Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Penta, El Zero Miedo. I'm still going to say that. I don't care. And Braun Breaker in a four-way for the Intercontinental title. That will
Right.
be really good. We then have a street fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. That should be really good. And then we have Randy Orton's Open Challenge. Any predictions as to who the hell that's going to be?
No, I have no idea. Do you?
Well, I don't think it's going to be Solo Sokoa because I think if it was Solo, they would have announced that Friday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If it was obvious, they would have announced it.
Hard telling.
And then we have the main event, which is Cody Rhodes and John Cena. And the most unpredictable main event in a while for WWE is that match because it is believable that both guys win that fight.
Yeah.
Russ, are you excited for night two? Where
Yeah,
are
I
you
am.
after night one?
Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to some of those matches. Some more than others.
Night two is definitely the better of the two cards.
Damian Priest and his opponent are both guys that I really like, you know. And so I'd be good with either one of them winning. I'm not necessarily a heel or babyface guy 100%, you know?
Well, let's make some guesses as to who we think is going to face Randy Orton. So Aleister Black is coming back Friday on SmackDown, so I don't think it's going to be him.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Nick Aldis.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I thought of too when he first gave him that RKO a few weeks back after
I
Kevin
just
Owens left.
maybe Rusev, but
Oh, yeah. I know he's signed, but yeah, that's possible. I think Nick Aldis is more likely, though.
me too. I think Rusev's a night after Mania guy.
Oh, yeah, that would be a nice surprise for Monday night if they're ready to get him involved.
Russ, any thoughts overall? I thought the pacing of the show tonight was much better than I expected.
Yep, 4 hour show, but it didn't feel as long as your average four. Look, for example, compare this 4 hours to a 4 hour AEW show. In
Or a
comparison,
4 hour Vince McMahon era show.
right. In comparison, this flew by. Hey, speaking of Vince McMahon, did it ever occur to anybody that without Vince McMahon in his headphones all the time, that Michael Cole's commentary has gotten much better?
Yeah, I've said that
Much
a number
better.
of times.
Yeah. I really think I think they had the 3 man booth for the show and they did pretty well.
I thought Wade was pretty awful a couple of times, but I always think Wade's awful. So
He's not one of your favorite announcers, is he?
no, he is not. Him and Byron Saxton are probably my two least favorite human beings on the
Oh
roster.
no, don't pick on Brian Saxton. He New Day was picking on him.
Well,
They
the New
ins-
Day was right to pick
they
on him.
insulted his haircut and his suit.
He's bald.
Well, that's it. His haircut. I mean, he shaves his head. I don't think he's naturally bald. He's like one of my boys. He shaves his head.
Russ, overall
Yes,
grade
sir.
for night one, I would give it a B.
I would give it a B or a B plus, right around there. And I thought it was pretty good. It was an above average show. It was good.
The main event was everything it needed to be. They needed this first night was so much going to be determined by what the main event was. Like people's view on this show was on night one was always going to be how good is the triple threat and what do they do for the finish? Because if they'd have done something stupid in the finish, nobody would have cared.
I think
But
they handled the finish just exactly the way it needed to happen.
yeah, there was some questionable booking kind of up and down this show, but the main event they did it right. Seth needed to win a big match, right? It had been a while since Seth had won a big match, and
I've
he
always
had
been
to
a
win
big
here.
fan of Seth Rollins going all the way back to when he was Tyler Black. And it's not just because he's a fellow Iowan, but just because I think he's one of the best in the business. He's one of the best they've ever had.
I agree. He
You
is
remember you
fantastic
remember the days when we had Tyler Black and El Generico
in
and
Ring of Honor.
Kevin Steen and some of those old names I can't even remember, you know?
Well, it's crazy because, like, think about how many former Ring of Honor guys were supposed to be on this show that got pulled due to injury.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Um, Russ, we also had Stand and Deliver today. I didn't watch it, but I'm going to watch it probably tomorrow or tonight.
Yeah,
Did you
I
watch
haven't
Stand and
seen it.
Deliver? I
I
heard
have.
the main event. I want to talk briefly because I didn't see it, but I saw clips. I heard the main event of Stand and Deliver was like match of the year worthy. Like, just
Okay. What was that main event?
it was Oba Femi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans.
Oh, Bafemi. No kidding. All right.
I I heard it was a very good three-way.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out when I get around to it. There's so much. Did you watch any AEW this week?
I did not.
I I kind of looked at a little bit of it, but I didn't really make a big point of it. I'll
I
catch
heard
up with them
Dynamite.
later.
I heard Dynamite was one of the best episodes they've done in a while, so I'm probably going to watch it before Raw on Monday.
Yeah.
Well, Russ, I know we're kind of swept up in WrestleMania fever right now because who isn't?
Right.
But I did want to ask you, are you looking forward to Double or Nothing at all? Because I'm not.
Double or Nothing. That's the AEW show coming up. What, in a week or two?
Next month,
Now, next month. Okay.
May
Uh,
26th.
Not yet. I'm not really looking forward to it yet. They might change that. It depends on how they book the thing.
Well, let me tell you what, Russ. I don't like 4 hour wrestling shows no matter who does them.
Hmm.
I think WWE does 4 hour wrestling shows better than AEW does them.
Yeah, but 4 hours is most of their pay-per-views are around 3 hours. WrestleMania and SummerSlam go a little longer, you know.
Yeah. Well, folks, that is going to be it for me and Uncle Russ tonight. We will be back here tomorrow night with, I'm sure, what will be a much longer show
Yeah.
because we're going to be recapping not only tomorrow night, but what we think is going to happen on Raw and all that stuff. We'll have the full post WrestleMania picture tomorrow night.
Yes.
But right now, we don't know. Stuff from tonight could flood into tomorrow. Who knows? But tomorrow
Exactly.
night, probably about the same time
Yes.
you're seeing this, you will be seeing our night two recap. That's pretty much it for night one.
Yes.
But
But
tomorrow
yeah,
night
like
we're
I
back
said,
here.
I'd give it a solid B plus.
I would go with a B just because I thought there was two duds in there. But overall, good first part of WrestleMania. We get part two tomorrow. Um, and then Russ, we're gonna be back here after Raw on Monday as well. So we got
Right.
some wrestling to talk about the next 3 days.
Looking forward to it.
I hope everybody has a great rest of your night. Normally, this is where I'd say enjoy the wrestling, but the next time you see us will literally be 24 hours from right now. So have a good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
You bet.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.